Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Today is the Mountain Breeze Poncho. Now this is classified as easy, but I'm gonna bump it up a level to more intermediate because how we get ourselves started is going to matter for the whole thing. So what you're looking at here is that the particular sample, see how it's flat here but then it has some ridging here? This ridging only appears on one side of the poncho that we'll be talking about that throughout today's tutorial. So how we get started is going to basically matter. Once you get this thing started and you understand it, you can plow through this thing, which then comes back to being easy again. So there is a crochet diagram for you. There is an error there, so I will show you that error, and it's right in here, and I'll just zoom in and show you. So after each of these revolutions you have to turn to go back in the other way, so we're gonna be touching that here. These slip stitch marks here is just showing the separation between the two sides. It's not, you don't have to do that, so it's just a matter of just being able to follow it along. So it's just actually the points are right here and here, and this is kinda like flat straight up. So right here it shows that there's a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in one chain. It's not, it's in two chains. So just like here it's in using two. So one double crochet is in one chain, the other double crochet is in the other. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on that, and that's pretty much the only thing I've seen so far. So you're going to also notice that this diagram is not symmetrical on top or bottom. So it took me a while to see that, but I'll show you what I found. So as I told you, this particular shawl, when you look at it from this perspective, there is one side here, see how it's all completely flat like this? Well, just one side here has all this raised up front treble work, as you see. So it's only on one side. So when you're looking at this, the flat side is the top side here, and when you get to the bottom, we're going to start off in the very bottom right here, and it's gonna start building out. So right here is where that ribbing all starts going down, and once you establish that, then you just keep on going, and that will just build itself out just like you see within the model here. So you see how it started off, and then it just builds out as you're doing that. So once you get that, it's pretty much easy to understand. I'm going to recommend to you a couple things at this point. I think you need 2 stitch markers. I think they need to be different colors. So what I decided for myself is that I just used pink and blue. You can decide whatever color you want, and just put on the sheet pink stitch marker, and this one will be a blue stitch marker. Until you get this pattern really established, you may get confused on what side that you're actually on. So the top here is the flat side, as I mentioned, and that ridging and the ribbing all starts down here. So if you put a stitch marker, at least you can confirm where you are. So if I'm gonna put the blue stitch marker here on the bottom, I will know that this side here is going to be where the ridging are. And of course if you don't think you need to, that's up to you. So there are 5 sizes available on this. Let's talk about those sizes, and let's talk about how that's gonna impact today's pattern. So we have sizes here all the way from small to 3 extra large. So when we're looking at it, you can see that they're small all the way to 3X. So when there's a bracket like this, the first number is the small, so chain 70. The next one is the medium, and then large, and then extra large, 1X, 2X, and 3X. So you're gonna follow the one that makes sense. So when you're doing a repeat, just like you can see that you're just following the brackets as you go. It's really not a hard thing to understand. It's just pretty much getting yourself started on this thing, and then once you see the growth happening, then it's just a matter of growing it out. So at first it may be a little confusing to you, but don't turn off. Let's just see if you can do it. And you're gonna need a size M as in Michael 9mm crochet hook. I'm using an 8mm size L just because that's what I have, and I'm gonna be using Patons Lincoln Fog today as my choice just to play with. It was recommending Red Heart Dreamy, but I don't have that here in my collection, and I'm just gonna use a solid color just to make sure that you understand it all the more. Okay, you ready? So let's go in, and I will tell you the sizing difference as we're going, and we're just gonna get ourselves started. So grab your yarn and hook, and let's play. So we have 2 sizes of chains to make. You can either make the chain 70 for those size that you're working on, or chain 78. You decide which one you're gonna do today. So it's just gonna open up the neck a little bit more, and the major difference between all the sizes is literally the length of it. So this sizing right at the very front end is just for the neck. So when you go to chain, I'm gonna chain just 10 to start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And once I have my 10, I'm gonna pull that off, and without twisting that chain, I'm gonna insert in the very first one here, and then put this back on and continue. So 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So either go to 70 or 78 now, and I'll meet you back here in just a moment. So I officially have 70 on my hook, so just yarn over and pull through and through the original chain, and therefore it should not be twisted, and you'll have the starting circumference that you will have for your neck. So let's now officially begin round number 1. In round number 1, I want you to have your stitch markers handy for you. Remember, I'm using pink for the top of the diagram, which is what I'm going to be starting with, and then the bottom of the diagram, the other side of the loop, I'm going to use blue. So have those handy. So what I want you to do is that I want you to chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and I want you to double crochet on the back hump of the chain starting on the next one, and do the next 2 in a row. So all of this is working in sets of 3 in the future, and you'll see that happening in just a moment. So once you have that done, you're now going to officially turn the first corner at the top of the diagram. Okay, this is the flat side. So you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and starting in the very next chain, so they don't share the same chain like it shows in the diagram at this time of filming, you're going to double crochet that one plus 2 more in a row. So remember, I said they're in sets of 3. Now before you go any further, I want you to place the 1 stitch marker that you assigned to the top of that diagram. This will be the flat side, and put it into that chain 2 space. So therefore you can see the difference of this in the future, and you just need to have it in for a couple rounds, and then you can take it out. Now going forward, we're now going to repeat the sets of 3 in a row for a set number of times. So in this case we want to chain 1, skip just 1 chain, and double crochet in the next 3. So that was considered one of a repeat number, and I'll cover that in just a moment. So now that it's in one time, we have to either repeat this for the different sizes. You're either gonna repeat this, so this is one of either 8, so you'll have 7 more to do, or if you're doing the larger sizes, then it will be, this is one of 9, so then you make sure that you have 9 altogether. So when you go and jump, you're gonna just chain up 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next 3, and therefore you'll have 2 sets. So I want you to continue to go along this chain until you get the repeat number that you want. So remember, don't count the one out of the corner, so that I put the stitch marker there so it's obvious. So this is 1, and then the next one will be 2, and then 3, 4, and etc. So you're putting in 3 in a row, and then chaining 1, and then skipping 1, and then continue. So what I want you to do is repeat this, either having total of 8 of these in a row, or 9 depending on your size, and I'll see you back here in just a moment as we turn the other corner, which is going to be at the bottom of the diagram. So now I just officially, I can count that there's 8 sets. So let me just back out a little bit so you can see this a little bit more. So I'm not counting the corner here as we started. So I started the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So if you're doing the larger sizes, you should see 9 of those. So we're going to now turn the corner. So we're going to chain 2, and starting in the next stitch available to you, you're going to start 3 in a row again. And then after we get that, I want you to put in that blue stitch marker, or whatever color you decided to use, and this will represent the side that will have the ridging that you can see that the model has. And again, once we get the ridging started, you'll see it immediately. It's just getting it there, and we'll put that stitch marker in so that we can see it in the future. So getting all the way back, you don't really have to excessively count because you'll run out of stitches by the time you get there. But what you can do is that just chain up 1, skip 1, and put 3 single crochets into the next one, and you continue that for a set number of times. So you will either do 7 times for the smaller sizes, and then it's 8 times for the larger sizes. But if you're just going across your chain, it should work out for you. And then when you put it down, you'll be able to count the number of sets on each side of these stitch markers, so that you'll be able to verify that it is actually equal. So skip 1, put 3 in a row, chain 1, skip 1, 3 in a row, and do this all the way back to where you had started, and I'll see you there in just a moment. So as I'm coming all the way back around, I just have 1 stitch left, so I'm just going to chain 1 and slip stitch it to the top of the chain 3. So let's take a look at the groups of 3 so that you completely understand it. So you have the stitch markers in, hopefully you put those in. So you should be able to count for this. This is the smaller size. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I should have 9 on this side, and therefore there should be a duplicate number. So if you're working on the other size, then what's gonna happen is you're gonna count how many you did here, and there should be the duplicate number of here. So starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So here's the thing with this particular pattern. When we're finished a round, we have to turn and go back in the other direction, and therefore we're gonna start row number 2. So that's what we're gonna do, and let's begin to do that journey next. So let's begin round number 2. We've already turned it. So I'm gonna show you a set of instruction that I believe that it is. I'm not 100% clear, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I want to chain 3. So that's a given. So 1, 2, 3. That's your first double crochet of a grouping of 3. The next one is down in this chain right here, and what I would recommend, I've tried going the other way, so I wasn't sure if the designer wants us to stay in the front of this and stay in front of that, or encase this underneath. I think it would look cool if it was underneath. So I'm going to wrap the hook, and I'm gonna go into that skip chain, and I'm gonna go in right through and let this strand go and cover over top of that chain space there, and you're gonna pull through, and you're gonna pull a little bit of slack, okay, and then pull through 2 and 2, and so that will be visible on both sides. And then in the same space you're gonna double crochet. So I'll show you again. So chain 1, go to the next space, double crochet into the chain 1 space first, and then do that extended double. So going down, go into the skip chain, and just stay and encase that chain 1 space inside the stitch. Pull up, give it a bit of slack, and then pull through and through, and then in that same space put in a double crochet. So I'll show you one more time. So chain 1, start with the double, do an extended, give it a bit of slack, and then a double. So I'll go all the way to the first corner, and I'll show you how to turn the corner here, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. So I'm approaching the next corner. I can clearly see it with my stitch marker. See, it's easier if you can do that. So I'm gonna chain 1, and in the corner I'm going to do what is called as a V-stitch. So the V-stitch is just a smaller word for 2 double crochet into that space, chain 2, and then just move that stitch marker to the other side and do the other side of that same chain 2 space. Now all the corners are always gonna be this, so all 2 of them. So that's pretty easy to remember throughout the whole thing. So then you're gonna continue on in the same manner. So just chain up 1, go to the next one, and just do what you already know. So double, and then an extended, and then in the same spot another double. It's like a glorified granny if you really think about it from this perspective. And then chain 1 and keep doing that. So I'll see you at the next corner where we will turn the corner and come around, and I'll show you how to finish this round. So as you're coming around, just in the next corner, you can clearly see it. So I've chained 1 before I've done it, and another V-stitch. So there'll be a 2 double crochet, chain 2, and just move that out of the way. So it's 2 double crochet again, and then we're back to where we had started. So in order to join it to the top of the chain 3, you have to chain 1 first and then join. And then after the end of the round, we turn, and now we go back, and we're now going to do round number 3, and this is where the equation will change slightly. So going forward, the odd numbers are now going to have those ridges. So when we're on an even number, we're on the back side of the project, and then when we're on an odd number, we're on the front side. So round number 1 was the actual good side. So now that we're about to start row number 3, this is when we're going to put in those front post trebles so that you see the ridging that the model has. And then when we go and do round number 2, we turn it, we're technically on the back of it, so we don't do that. So let's begin to do round number 3. So I told you that the ridging does not start until we're at the bottom here. So this is the marked one with the blue. So we're not gonna worry about the ridging until we get down there. So that's where it's gonna start building out on this side. So to begin, we're going to just chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna fill in this spot here with what we already know with this extended double crochet, but instead of going into the chain we're going into the middle one of the grouping of 3. So going into the middle stitch down here and just giving it a bit of slack, and then pull through 2 and 2, and then in that same space just pry it open with your fingers if you don't see it, and then finish it. So chain up 1, and now the next one has the stitch marker there so you can see that, and that's going to be your V-stitch. So it's 2 double crochet first, followed by chain 2 and 2 double crochet. So we're now going to get ourselves established here, and what we need to do is that we just need to do exactly what we had done already here. So chaining up 1, so you go right into the space with the double, and then we're going to then extend it into the middle one down here. Just give it a bit of slack to pull it up. See how that pulls everything together? That's what gets rid of that granny square look. And then you're just gonna double crochet. So chain up 1, go to the next space, do the extended double down into the middle one, and then in the same space a double. So I want you to continue this, and then we're going to review ourselves when we get closer to this side here where I'll pick you up, and then we'll go and turn the corner together. Now I'm coming closer, and I'm just gonna chain 1 after this group. So this one here that I'm about to do is where I'm going to start those ridges, and once we do that then the ridges are going to follow this projection all the way up, and we'll also do one on this side which then will project out in the other direction. So to do that we're going to start off the space like we know it. So we're gonna double crochet first, and then we're gonna do a front post treble all the way down into this middle one. So instead of being on the top we're into the side of the post, which creates that ridge. So wrap the hook twice because it's a treble, and then coming down and into the middle one around the post itself, and pull through 2, 2 and 2 all the way back up, and then in the same space double crochet. So this raises this up versus the other one where it stays flat, where everything else stays flat. You're now gonna turn the corner, so chain 1 before you do that, and it's a V-stitch right in the corner. So as you know it, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then chain 1 to go to the next space. So the next space is going to be an exact one of this. So it'll be a double crochet to start, and then wrapping the hook twice and coming down into the middle one around the post. So this is a front post treble, and then double crochet back into that same spot. So that's all that we're gonna do for the ridging on this round. You'll see that every time we get bigger and on the odd number, you'll see that we're gonna be adding more and more as we get closer along. So let's just chain up 1, and we're gonna do the spacing like we already know it. So a double crochet, an extended double into the stitch, and then a double, and etc. and chain 1. So I will see you back at the very beginning here, and we'll turn the corner exactly what you know it. So there is nothing like this on the other side. It's just what you already know, and turn the corner with the V. Oh, actually the corner is already done. So I will just meet you at the end of this round. Sorry about that. So I'm coming up all the way to the end of number 3, so just chaining up 1 and then just join. So the corner of the first one was already done. We've already passed by it when we started this one. So we're just gonna slip and turn your work, and then we're back on an even number, which is number 4. And in this case it's exactly what you know. So we're not gonna worry about putting in those ridges because we're on the wrong side. You can't see them. So we're only doing these ridges here when we can actually see them on the right side. So let's move on to round number 4. So when we go to do this, round number 4 is exactly what you already know. When you get to a corner, you're just gonna put a V-stitch. So 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and everything else is that fun stuff of the extended double. So you're gonna start off like you know it. So chain 3 and come down into the middle one for an extended double, and then double into the same space, and then chain 1 and move along. So double, it's the middle one, and then double. So you're gonna do that, and then once you get to, sorry that wasn't a double, that was a single. So you're going to just double that one, So then you're gonna chain one and continue that same all the way around, V-stitch in the corner, and then continue that same pattern going all the way around, V-stitch into this corner, and meet me back up right here. This is round number 4. So it's a nice easy round to do. So every other round will be like this when you're going to do this, and you will notice that it'll just get easy because you don't have to really think much about it. So I'll see you at the end of round number 4. So I'm coming up to the first time that I'm doing the V-stitch. Before the V-stitch here, I just realized that there's not 3 in a row here at this because it's just a V-stitch here. So it is the first one of the 2, just like you're going to see. So it's the closest one to the corner. That's the one you're gonna do the extended double down into, and then you'll just fill in that spot and then chain up 1 and then do your V-stitch. So this is the very corner. Okay, and then chain 1. So when you go to drop down into this one, so you're gonna just double crochet first and then drop down to the first one of the grouping of 2. So it's the one closest to the corner for your extended double, and then fill in the remaining of the space with the double and carry on. So you'll do the same for the other side. So it's the double crochet that's closest to the corner is where you're going to be dropping, and I'll see you at the end of this round. I just wanted to clarify that. So I'm finishing the end of this round. This is round number 4, and just chaining up 1 and then just joining it to the top of the first chain 3, and then we're gonna turn our work and be back on an odd number, which will be number 5. And when you turn around, you should see the ridging that is up on the other side coming up, and we're on the good side of the project. So let's begin number 5 and let's start. So let's start number 5. You're gonna chain 3 and then you're doing your extended to the middle one down. So the difference is that each time you're turning now, the corners get further and further away from the slip stitch line. So just keep an eye on that. So you're doubling into that same space, chain up 1, and then you're coming into the next one, but there's only the 2 V-stitches, so it's just like you did before. So you're double crocheting, you're extending down to the one that's left, that's closest to the corner, and then you're double crocheting in that same spot space. So just pull it if you don't see it. Then chain 1 and do your V-stitch, which you already know. So 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then carry on. What we want to do is that we want to get close to the other side. So as you're moseying on along, so you're just gonna chain 1, fill in the next spot. It's part of the V-stitch down here, so it's the first one that's closest to the corner there in the spot, and then chain 1 and then move on. So right where the ridging is here, that's going to be where it's gonna start. So when we go to do the next one, because we were on the wrong side, we are then going to be picking up the ridging and building up another. So we're gonna have then 2 ridges showing up, and then every time we end up on an odd number like this, then there will be an added ridge each and every time, and build it out as you see within the model. So I'll see you there in just a moment on the first time we do the ridge, and then we'll do our second set of ridges at that moment. So I'll see you back there, see you there in just a moment. So now moving along, so the next one I'm going to do is going to be in the space, and I see that there's a ridge right there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's right there. So we want to maintain that ridge. So when we're going to do this one here, which is to start, so I've already chained 1 just to finish this one. So I'm going to double crochet in the next one, and we're going to do a front post treble around this existing one right here, and that'll keep that ridging carrying on, and then continue to double crochet in that same spot. So that ridging is going to carry on. So chain up 1, but the corner is over here now because we've turned and went back the other direction. We now have a new one to play with, a new space. So you're just going to double crochet first, and like we had done before where we grabbed the first one, like when we went down, it's the one closest to the corner, we're going to grab the one closest to the corner again. So this will be a front post treble around the one that's closest to the corner, and this just created another layer of those ridges that you saw within the model sample, and then double crochet in the same spot. So now you have 2 ridges starting. So now you have just chain 1 and do a V-stitch into the corner to turn. So this time we're going to begin and start a ridge right away, because there is no ridge there, because you can see the other ridge is just coming up. Okay, so then chain up 1, go into the next spot, double crochet, and do the front post treble around the one closest to the corner down here. So you've now just created a new ridge there now too. And then just double crochet there, chain up 1. The next one already has the ridging going in, you can see here, so you're just gonna double crochet first and then front post treble around the existing one. And then double crochet back into that same spot. So now you can see that there's 2 sets of ridges going on here. So you're just gonna carry on the pattern as you know it, and when we get there we're gonna be running into the back of the other side here. It's just what you already know. So just double crochet, extended double in, and a double, and I'll see you at the end of this round. This is round number 5. Once you get all the way to the end of number 5, you're just gonna chain 1 and then slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, and you're gonna turn your work and you'll be on round number 6, which is exactly what you already know. Okay, so it's the extended doubles. So just remember, when you hit a corner, it's the one closest to the corner when you do the extended double down, and it's the same on both sides. So this is very similar to then the row that you already did on number 4. So we'll just keep on repeating with what we already know. So we're just gonna start with chain 3, do an extended double down to the middle, and then in the same spot you're going to put in your double crochet. So chain 1 and then go to the next one. So when you hit your corners, it'll be your V stitches here in the corners, and you'll carry on, and then you'll come back and you'll do your V stitch in this corner and then meet me back here, and then we'll move on to round number round number 6 from that point. Sorry, we'll move on to round number 7. So we're currently on round number 6 now. So I'm coming all the way around on round number 6. Number 6 is a constant, by the way. So in the future we're gonna be repeating the concept for round number 6 over and over and over in between the rounds that you have to add more and more of those ridges as we're getting closer to the point on the one side. Once you get that last one done, just chain up 1 and just go in to the top of the chain 3, and then we're gonna do round number 7 next. So just turn it and you're back on the odd number, which means that we should see the ridges on the other side, which I do, and we're going to begin number 7 next. So round number 7 is going to be the start of the repeat that we have, and what we're going to do is that we're just gonna start off with what you already know. So just chaining up 3, and we're on the side that does not have those ridges, so you're just gonna have to build it up and go around that point as you already know with the V stitch. Just make sure you're chaining 1 in between each one of these, and then I'm going to meet you up where those ridges start on the other side. Okay, so I'll meet you up over here, and we're gonna be adding another set of ridging in. So we have 1 ridge, 2, and then we're gonna be adding a 3rd one this time on round number 7. So this is how we're going to expand it and make more ridges each and every time you're turning it around to do the odd number sides. So let's meet you there in just a moment. So I'm round number 7 is continuing, so I just chained 1. So the next one here has the ridging. It's the first one of the grouping. So double crochet and continue to make that a front post treble around the existing one, and that keeps that moving up, and then double, and then chain 1, start the next one. It already has the ridging from before, so double crochet, front post treble around that one, and double crochet in the same spot, and now we're gonna create a new ridge. So chaining up 1 and coming into the next one, double crochet, you're gonna come to the one that's closest to the corner and make that a front post treble, and then double crochet in that same spot, chain 1 and then V stitch it, okay. So we need to create a new ridge when we come out of this corner. So chain 1 before you move on. So we're gonna have to create that ridge on the first one that's here. So double crochet in the next spot, front post treble around the first one closest to the corner, and then the same spot, double crochet, and then chain one. So you're gonna come to the next spot. It already has the treble coming in here, so double crochet first, front post treble coming down. So you can see where these trebles are now, so you can remove the stitch markers out if you'd like to. Okay, chain one, come to the next one. It has a treble coming in that you see, so make that, continue that. And double crochet in. Okay, and so therefore these ridging are now done on this side. So you're gonna maintain, which you already know, just the regular ideas of coming down, and you'll finish on the other side, and I'll see you back there in just a moment. So chain one, double into the next, extended double down, and double into the same. Please do that all the way around for the remaining of round number 7. So I'm just finishing up round number 7. So we're now gonna officially turn and start round number 6, which is, or sorry, round number 8, which is the same as round number 6. So 7 and 8 is the repeat pattern for the remaining of this. So remember, so let's begin row number 6 again, and let's do that. So number 6, we're back on the back side, so just chaining up 3 and then just extended double in, down, and then double here. And so you're just gonna work your way all the way around. In the corners you will put in your V-stitches, and coming all the way back to this corner of V-stitch, and then what you already know. So it's just a nice easy round, and this is round number 8, which is the end of the repeat, and this is where we will leave you for those instructions to finish off the remaining, and then I'm gonna move on to show you how to do the bottom edging as well as the top necking spot at that point. So get this all the way done. This is round number 8, which is the same as number 6. I'm now at the end of round number 8. I'm looking at the back side. So when you go to turn, you'll be on the right side of the project, which is the front. You have the ridges. It almost looks like a large leaf at this moment, which is pretty awesome. And so the ridges are growing on the one side opposite to the side that you are starting. You'll notice that the stitch marker, or sorry, the slip stitch line is getting further and further away, so it'll follow up, but it's blended so well that you can barely notice it's there. So now I need you to repeat rows number 7 and 8 until you get to either finishing off row number 24, 26, or 28, depending on the size. So look at the size that you want to finish. No matter how big you want to get it, you need to finish off round number 8, because round number 8 will take you to start on the right side of the project, where we will do the final round together, which is what I'll show you here in just a moment. So please now just put me on pause and come back to me at another time when you get all your rows done. So you'll do rows number 9 through 24, 9 through 26, or 9 through 28, and if you want it bigger or smaller, then you can just stop at any point. So I'm going to get ready and show you how to do the bottom edge, and so once your round number 8 is done at the end of your repeat, we're going to start and do the final round to finish it off. Let's begin the edging round. So right where we are, when we go to start, we're only going to chain 1, and we're going to start in the very first stitch that we are currently in, and you're going to single crochet. We are still going to do the extended double coming down, and you will come down into the middle one of the one below. But this time the remaining 3, you're not going to skip over to those, you're just going to put one single in each. So the extended double is basically burying in the gapping space. So coming down and then single crochet in the next 3. And so this is closing it all down, and so we're going to be getting close to the corner, which I'll show you how to do in a second, and you'll do the same thing with both of the corners. So you're just going to single crochet, and so you're going to come down to the first one like you had been before with an extended, and you're going to double crochet the remaining 2 that are left, and then in this chain 2 space, from what I read, it's only going to be 2 single crochets, so 1 and 2, and then immediately start in these double crochets here. So continuing, and then jump down. So wherever there's a space to jump down, you are going to jump down with an extended double, and then just continue to single crochet the remaining stitches that are on top. So please do this all the way around. This is the end of the edging, and you can see it fills it in from taking it from the gapping to filling it in. So do that and I'll see you back here in just a moment. We'll review on how to fasten off and then we still have a neck to finish. When you come all the way back around, just slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet that you started with and pull it nice and tight, and then that's it. So I want to show you how to fasten this off. Then we're gonna move to the next. So I'll show you just the one time. So take the strand. So if you are changing yarn, this is what you would do as well. Now this is the good side of the project, so I would turn it so when I go to do this that I'll be on the back side, and I'm just gonna glide it through some stitch work here on the back. So once, when you pull it, don't change the shape. Twice, and finally a third time is a charm. And so you should be able to safely cut that out. And you're good. So let's move on to the neck. We have 2 rounds to do and let's begin to do that next. Let's begin to do the neck. I'm just going to grab my yarn. Now the project should be the right side is facing up, so I should see those ridges on the right side. I'm going to start just before the corner, so I'm just gonna start a little bit back. So in this chain 1 space, that's where I'm gonna start, and I'm going to attach it with the slip stitch and then chain 1 in 1 single crochet. So it's telling you to do a 2 together before and after the chain 2 space. So it's been marked here. So if you can't see it, it's the point. So the 2 before the point and the 2 after the point are gonna become 2 together. So I'm just going to match the stitch work exactly to what I see. So in this case I'm just filling it in with single crochets, and so these are the 2 before the point, so I'm gonna make those as a 2 together. So just pull through, and the next one pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops, and then jump to the other side of the point, and you'll do this on both sides, by the way. Put those 2 together, and then you're gonna carry on. So you'll have, in this case, just fill it in. So you have a double crochet is next, and then there's a chain 1 space. Go right up over top of that straggler if you haven't hit it in yet. And so I'm just going to maintain with what I already know. So just single crochet, and then you can see that there's double crochets going on there. So don't get confused on those ones that come down, because I'm kinda getting confused with that here, those ones that are extending down, because those were into like a spacing when you were doing that. So just kind of watch for that. So it's 1 single in each going all the way around. Just make it look good if you're getting confused in any way. So I got my 3. So here's the one that comes down. So you could go into the bottom of that one and maintain that one, and then just jump to the next double crochet that's available. So okay, so just before the point and after the point, put the 2 together, and then meet me back here in just a moment, and I'll see you on the other side with this, and we'll finish up this round together. And finally rounds 2 and 3 are both the same, so you're just going to just finish off round number 1 just with the slip stitch. So you're gonna do 2 together over 3 once you get to a point. How we do that is that we're gonna chain up 1 and we're gonna do 1 single crochet. So we just have to just kind of bring ourselves in to be a lot more narrow. So you got 3 in a row, and what you're gonna do is a 2 together over 3. So going into the next one, pull through, skip the next one and go to the one after that and pull through all 3. So that was a 2 together over 3, and that really narrows that in. And now you're gonna continue to single crochet yourself all the way to around, and when you get to the other point you just want to do the 2 together over 3 as well, and then just join it with the slip stitch, and then you'll do the round 1 more time to finish it off, and then this will give it a nice finishing border at the very top of your poncho. So I'll meet you at the end of this round and we'll talk, and then that's it for today's tutorial. So I'm coming up on round number 2, and then I'm just gonna slip stitch and do the round 1 more time. So just slip stitch to the beginning, chain up 1 and 1 single crochet, and then in the corner here you're gonna do 2 over 3. So just that one, skip the next one, and just roughly guess it if you're not sure, and that will close it in beautifully. And then you'll continue, do the 2 over 3 on the other side, and then just finish it off with the slip stitch, and I'll see you back here in a second. This is gonna be the end of round number 3, which is the final. So that's it for my story today, and I'm just gonna slip stitch. I've already shown you how to weave in, but let's take a look at the sample that I've created. It's a miniature, Yeah, because the repeating was actually pretty easy once we got to that level. So if you fold it in a certain way you would actually see a triangle. So let's just back you out a little bit here. So this will be here. This side has nothing as far as like the ridging, and this side does have the ridging, and you can see how the ridging grew out. So when you see her wearing it, she's actually wearing it somewhat like this in the photograph, and that's something that you can decide for yourself as well. It actually looks pretty fashionable in today's era as well. So you can remove out your stitch markers, and it's actually really easy. The other side looks pretty good too, so if it blows in the wind it's no big deal, but you have a little bit of visual interest, and the coloring looks amazing too, so it's nice and finished, and this is something that you can enjoy. So this is the Mountain Breeze Poncho by Rnds.com. Designer was Lorene Eppolite, and that's it for today, and we hope you have a good one, and we hope to see your creativity on Facebook or other social media sources. We'll see you again real soon. Here comes the hands. Bye bye.